Hello everyone. Today we are going to move forward with a few more trig lessons. Just one more thing today, but I think we have two or three more total. But anyways, you are going to need this calculator up. So if you haven't worked with it yet, get used to it. You can't do it without this calculator. It can be really any calculator, but the one that I have on this link right here, type that into the search bar on Chrome or Safari or whatever you use. This is the one I'm going to kind of talk you through of what buttons to press. So please use this link. Okay, kind of the intro today. I just want you to solve for x. It should take you 4 seconds. Well, duh, Mr. Adler, x equals 3 because 3 plus 7 is 10. But how did you solve that in your head? Well, what you did is you did the opposite of plus 7, so you minus 7, x equals 3. And what that is, we technically did is inverse operations because the inverse of adding is subtracting, so we subtracted 7 from both sides to get x by itself. You know that already. You just didn't really maybe know the words of what we did. Again, it's called inverse operations. So applying that to trig, if we have the sine of x equals 1/2, if I want to solve for x again in this equation, if I want to solve for x there, I got to get rid of this sign. If I want to solve for x, that means get it by itself. So if I want to get rid of that sign, again, I'm going to use the inverse operation. What we do is we do something called the inverse sign. So to get rid of sign, it's called the inverse sign. Since I did that to the left, just like up top, I minus 7, I got to do it to the right. So I take the inverse sign, these cancel out, and you get x equals the inverse sign of 1/2. Now, on that calculator that I showed you, these are the buttons you press. You press the inverse sign button. It's the second one down in the upper left-hand corner. So upper left-hand corner says sign. The one right below that says sign to the -1. When you press that button, it says this on the screen. They're the same thing. These are the exact same thing. Arc sign is the same as inverse sign. So you press, again, you press sign -1. The next button you press is going to be 1. Then you're going to type in divided by. Then you're going to type in 2. And on your screen it should say 30 degrees. So that's how we get rid of our trig functions. We take the inverse. Okay, so we're going to apply that now to 3 problems. It says in problems 1 through 3, solve for x. And if you notice here, x is an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list out my 3 trig words, O, A, H, in terms of this angle. So what is opposite? Opposite is straight across. Opposite is 13. Oh boy, 13. Now 30 is across in the, oh boy, I'm struggling, people. 30 is across, there we go. 30 is that's a 20, not even a 30. 20 is across from the right angle, so that makes 20 my hypotenuse. Okay, so toa, which one of these uses O and H? O, H. So what does that tell me? I'm going to use the sine of my angle. What angle did I use? X. The sine of x is going to equal my opposite, which is right here, 13, over my hypotenuse, which is 20. Well, now I got to get x by itself. I got to solve for x, get it by itself. Again, to get rid of these trig functions, we're going to do the inverse of them. So I'm going to take the inverse sine of this side. So I got to take the inverse sine of this side. Those cancel. That's why I took the inverse. So I'm left with x equals the inverse sine of 13 over 20. Mr. Adler, how the heck am I supposed to know what that is? You're not. That's why you use your calculator. Again, we're going to type inverse sine. You're going to type 13, 1, 3. You're going to hit divided by. You're going to hit 20. When you type all that in, you should get 40.5 degrees. Round to 1 decimal, that's fine by me. 40.5 is that angle. This is a right angle. Did I put it on this one? This is a right angle. Whoops. Okay, I want you guys to pause the video and try number 2. Otherwise, I will go in just a little bit. So again, what you need to do is, in terms of the angle you're trying to find, you got to list out O, A, H. Okay? Opposite value, 21. Now we just got to decide, hey, is 16, is that my A value or is that my H? Well, my hypotenuse is this one. There's no number listed there, so I don't know the H value. That means that 16 must be my adjacent value. Now let's think. SOHCAHTOA. Which one uses O and A? O and A comes from TOA, and the T stands for tangent. So I'm going to say the tangent of my angle. What angle am I trying to find? Tangent of X equals O, 21, over A, 16. Okay, how do we get X by itself? Well, we got to get rid of the tangent. So I'm going to take the inverse tangent of this side. I'm going to take the inverse tangent of this side. When that happens, I get X equals the inverse tangent of 21 over 16. Just type that into your calculator. Inverse tangent of 21 divided by, that's a 16, divided by 16. We should get X equals 52.69, so 0.7 degrees. Okay, last one here. Okay, again, I'll shut up for about 5 seconds, and then you guys can try the problem on your own. Okay, so again, we are going to list out O, A, and H in terms of the angle I'm trying to find. O, A, H. In this case, I don't know an opposite value. Don't know that one. What I do know is my hypotenuse is 43, and I know that my adjacent side, the one next to it, is 20. So, TOA. Which one uses AH? So I'm going to say the cosine of X equals A, 20, over H, 43. Got to get X by itself, so I got to get rid of that cosine. Take the inverse cosine of both sides. You end with X equals the inverse cosine of 20 over 43. Go to your calculator. Inverse cosine of 20 divided by 43 should get X equals about 62.28, so 62.3 degrees. Hope that makes